said, okay, let's do it. But if we're going to start a home care agency, we're going to do it a little differently. I don't like what I see out there. We're going to change it up, and we're going to make being an advocate and helping people navigate a healthcare system the focal point of who we are as a company.
Welcome to the My Future Business Show, where we get you in front of your best audience and keep you there. Not only are we interviewing the biggest names in business to help you become even more successful, we're inviting you to book your spot on the show to help you grow your business. So at the end of the call, make sure you fill in the interview application form at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. Hello and welcome to the show that gets you in front of your best audience and keeps you there. Thank you very much for supporting the show. I've been reading your feedback. It's warm, it's wonderful, it's supportive, and it's motivating me to bring you great guests. And with that being said, on today's show, I'm with the CEO and founder of Talem Home Care, Mr. Jake Rankin. Welcome to the show, Jake.
Hello. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Oh, look, it is absolutely my pleasure. Now, you and I were just talking briefly about your love and concern piece, and it really sort of touched me because I remember when I was growing up, and I think that's a really great place to start to give our audience some context about you. So I guess let's start off with where's home for you?
Home for me now, I live in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Just outside of Milwaukee. I grew up in kind of the Oregon-Washington border, of Oregon, Idaho, Washington. And then I moved throughout my career in healthcare. I moved to various states. I spent about 10 years in Denver, Colorado, which is where our headquarters is.
Right.
And then, moved here with my wife and family because my wife is from Wisconsin. We moved here back in 2015, I think it was.
So what do you personally love about the place? Is there anything
about Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I love all the lakes and the fishing. I love to ice fish.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And we bought a cabin in the woods that I can do some hunting on and just get out with the family and spend some time outdoors.
So, tell me something. Where I am, we don't have as much ice that we need to get through to get to the fish. Tell us a little bit about that process. I've seen it on videos. It's fascinating.
Ice fishing?
Yeah.
It's, you got to wait till the weather gets colder. And, in Wisconsin, Minnesota, kind of the Midwest, it gets really cold here. So the ice, you have to wait till the ice gets at least 4 inches thick or more, typically.
Yep.
And you just march on out to the ice, and you find a spot, and you drill a hole, and you drop a line in. So there's people who do what they call pan fishing, where you're trying to catch like crappie and bluegill and sunfish and stuff. And so they'll drill a bunch of holes, and they'll put a fish finder in there and jig for crappie for those things. And then I like to use what they call tip up. So I'll put a bait down. And then, because I'm fishing for northern pike or muskie, typically.
Yep.
And so when a fish grabs it, a flag pops up, and
all the rest of it.
So I'm able to put three lines in the water per person.
Now, do you find that's very therapeutic? Because I know that you're a busy man, and we're going to be talking about Talem Home Care at length today. In fact, we're going to be talking about it in 2 parts. But do you find that it's important to get away and have some time to yourself?
Yeah, I like getting out. It's quiet out there. It can be quiet out there. My son loves to do it, so it's just fun to get out there. And I don't mind the cold. The cold doesn't bother me at all.
No, I love the cold.
I do wear a heated vest, but it is relaxing. It's peaceful for me out there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you sharing, because it gives some context to the call, and everybody loves to hear, because we know that business is business and the mechanics of a business don't really change, but the personalities do, so I appreciate it. Now, in terms of other hobbies and sports, I know that you do get involved with softball. Can you tell us a little bit about your involvement there?
I used to. I was. Yeah. When I lived in Denver, for 10 years, and I played city league softball leagues for the entire time. And I usually did, for like 9 months of the year or so, I would probably be playing in roughly anywhere from 3 to 5 games a week for the entire 9 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
But I injured myself and had to have surgery on my back, and that kind of that was my second back surgery, and that kind of went my softball career.
Goodness me, that's the end of that one. Now, given that you're a family man, I know that my children often want my time, and they like to enjoy a movie with Dad occasionally. So, are your kids the same way, or do you like movies?
Yeah, we do watch a lot of movies occasionally. We really enjoy the outdoors. So
yeah.
Between getting involved in Boy Scouts, we do, or just fishing and hiking and boating, and we spend almost every minute of the weekend outside if the weather's nice.
Do they do the dib 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 dob 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 with your scouts over there? Because I know that they do that here.
Oh, the Morse code stuff?
Yeah, well, no, it's actually more of a thing that they do for the Cubs and the Scouts. The 3 fingers together and all that sort of thing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember growing up doing Scouts. And is that your son's deeply involved with that? Are you, or?
We're just getting started. We just signed
excellent.
up this year for the first time.
Yeah.
Both my sons are in it this year, so we had our first meeting last week.
Now, I know that, you're an out-and-about type of family. Do you have any pets that you take with you, or?
No. We've been talking about getting a dog, but...
Look out.
We like to travel the state a lot and camp, and I know you can probably take dogs to do that stuff, but we just...
do your thing.
Yeah, we have our neighbors have 2 dogs that they let roam free, and these dogs come over daily and play with our kids and have fun. So we're kind of, we're like, no, we it's kind of like having dogs without having to worry about the vet bills and feeding them and stuff.
Now, I'm loving this. Thank you very much. Now, I know when you're watching as a dad, you're watching your kids grow up, but I'd like to wind back time and look at your life growing up. Do you remember something fond about your childhood that you could share with us? Memory.
My best memories or fondest memories were I grew up in Oregon, and my family had bought a cabin in the woods. Well, they built a cabin in the woods on a lake, and so every summer I would go up and spend the summer with my grandparents, and I spend every minute that I could up at the cabin, and I still try to go up there. And so I think it's my favorite place in Oregon. It's my favorite place in the world, period, is to go to Oregon to that cabin. And there's no electricity. There's no hot water. It's pretty rustic.
Yeah, good
but,
stuff.
There's fishing and hunting and just relaxing, and I just love it up there.
I can tell, because when you started talking about that, you just started to beam. You started to, really glow with excitement. I'm thinking, I might go up there and have a look at it myself. Now, I know, reading through your love and concern piece on your website, that you talked about your grandparents and the likes. Who did you look to when you were growing up? Was it your grandparents? Did you have other people in your life that gave you direction?
My dad obviously gave me a lot of direction, and my grandmother was a huge influence on me. They both were very huge. And then I've had some adopted, some people that adopted me into their family, if you will, close friends that, that has mom and dad and grandma, grandpa, brothers, sisters. So I learned a lot from them as well.
Yeah, thank you. Now, when we get into the core of the call for Talem Home Care, today's focus is going to be on the services side of that. Now, given how busy it must certainly be, what does your daily routine look like? How do you look after yourself? And do you get up early, or what's a day look like for you?
For me, or for...
No, for you.
For people who are running an office. For me, I'm focused on myself more on the franchise side of things, selling franchises, creating national accounts and partnerships, and taking a look at our policies and procedure manuals and seeing how we can improve them, and forecasting the future and
all of that good stuff, growing the business. Now, and that's what we're going to be obviously talking about in another call, which I'm very excited about, which is the franchise side of it. But I think what we need to do is learn a little bit about the genesis of Talem Home Care. What inspired you to actually start this wonderful organisation?
I've been in the industry for like 18 years, and I was fortunate enough to have some good mentors in the industry who even allowed me to start companies for them doing this exact same thing. But So I was in the corporate world for a while, and I got tired of the corporate world. I was traveling a lot, and I wanted to spend more time with my family. So I had started a consulting business, consulting for small entrepreneurs, with the home health, the hospice, et cetera. And so one of my clients, one of my biggest clients, he owned a hospice agency, and he had always wanted to start a non-medical home care agency. And he knew I had experience doing it. I'd done it a lot in the past, and was thinking about it. And then while thinking about it, some kind of tragedy hit my life where my mother ended up in the ICU, and she was I had to fly out to Phoenix to be with her, and thankfully I was somewhat prepared and had a lot of documents in order and living wills and advance directives, but I remember having to make a decision on what to do, and to keep her on life support or take her off. And throughout that whole process, the doctor was arguing with me about things, and I was asking questions, and he kept saying, well, I was asking the wrong questions. And I just remember, it was pretty difficult to navigate everything. And I remember thinking, at that point in time, I was into my career like 10 or 12 years. I was a certified senior advisor. Even then, I'd sat in hospital rooms advising people, and I'd sat in kitchen tables meeting with families and helping them navigate. But it was probably the first time that I ever really experienced how difficult it was firsthand, and it got me frustrated. And I remember thinking, wow, if it's this hard for me, who has this experience, who knows what to do it, and to navigate through the system, I couldn't imagine how much, it just renewed, like, oh my gosh,
it'd be awful.
What are these other people doing?
Yeah.
The hospital had their own agendas and was trying to push me to do things which I felt wasn't right. And so, it just led me to believe, the mindset of, I left the corporate world because I didn't like what I saw, and then I was experiencing these things, and I got to the point of, why complain about these things? I didn't want to be part of the problem or complain about it. I wanted to be part of the solution. So when I got done dealing with all that stuff, I went back to that hospice owner that was wanting to do this. I said, okay, let's do it. But if we're going to start a home care agency, we're going to do it a little differently. I don't like what I see out there. We're going to change it up, and we're going to make being an advocate and helping people navigate a healthcare system kind of a focal point of who we are as a company.
Thank you for sharing that. It's oftentimes we have to go through some hard times ourselves to get that, that vision, that mission, that objective in our lives. So a very tough story to deal with, and thank you for sharing. Now, I wonder, what is the main mission? Is it to be different, or is it to provide a whole range of different services?
Our main mission is to empower, the lives we touch, to empower them to take control of their own life. To lead them through whatever they're facing so they can achieve their goals. And so that really resonates with our employees, our community, and our clients. So, and we do that through, our approach to that is through kind of a care management approach. We want to be an information and resource center. We want to be an advocate and a place people can turn to say, help, I'm lost. And provide that free guidance and support.
You see a lot of this type of industry focusing purely on the money making, but I think there needs to be that element of care. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, what happens is people tend to be narrow-minded or narrow-focused on the task of being a caregiver, and you'll see, hospitals are focused on discharging quickly, and nursing homes are focused on discharging quickly, and everybody operates in their own little silo. And what happens is people get lost in the crack. Information can be lost, given incorrectly, given with a twist or a bias to it, and it causes headache and heartbreak and frustration for family members and those people navigating. And so we really want to be that central point of coordination that's open and free to the community, saying, let us be your guide. Let us help you through this, and let us help you ask the right questions so that you are prepared and planned for what's happening next.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's a good, it's a hand-in-glove fit for you to be on the My Future Business Show, because we're all about helpful people, helping people. So it's a credit to you, the work that you're doing. Keep up the great work. Now, where did the name Talem Home Care come from?
That was a difficult name. We had a different name that we first launched our business under, and we loved the meaning behind the name. But when we decided to launch as a franchise system, we went through the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to find out that name was taken and we couldn't use it. So we had to come up with a new name, and we already had our mission which included the words empower, lead, and achieve in our mission statement and in our vision statement. Mm-hmm. And we found this word Talem randomly, which was Latin, which basically kind of loosely, Latin's hard to translate, but loosely translate to empower, lead, and achieve, honestly. Yep. And those words were in our mission statement. We thought, there you go. Perfect. It fits. It fits better than actually the original name we had, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I know that your focus is more on the franchise side of things, so I'd love to shift our focus to the people that are running these businesses for you on the service side. I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit, I guess, firstly, how long has Talem Home Care been in operation?
Since 2013.
2013, thank you. Now, how many people do you have in your core management group?
Our core management group, we have... It's a little question. It's a combination of internal staff and then vendors and partners we work with. So we've got seven internal staff, and then we have some subject matter experts that we lean on. HR professionals, insurance professionals. Yep. Things of that nature.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of moving parts when you have people involved in business, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, we tell people that you have to be a small business owner. You almost have to be the expert in everything, but you're not. So that's why we lean on a lot of our partners and subject matter experts to help support, because no one person can know it all. In our
That's sage. That is sage advice and insight there. Thank you very much for sharing, Jake. Now, I'd like to ask, if you could, what are some of the services that Talem Home Care provide to your clients?
Primarily, I guess I'd say we provide three main services. So our primary service is what they call non-medical or in-home care, where it's personal care, homemaker, and companion services. So it's things like bathing assistance, dressing assistance, house cleaning, laundry, companionship, transportation. We send a caregiver into somebody's home so they can be successful in their home for as long as possible. Our second service would be what they call senior placement services. So if somebody, their needs and they increase and they can't stay home anymore, then we will help them find the appropriate community that fits their needs. So it could be like a nursing home community, assisted living, memory care, independent living, a combination or a mixture of the above. And we kind of act like they're, for lack of a better term, kind of like a realtor. We take a look at what their financial needs are, spiritual needs are, social needs are, medical needs are, and we help them find the perfect fit, and we give them options and find the perfect fit for what they're looking for.
Now, I'd just like to... sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I say then the last thing we do really is that care management piece and that's the free. So the placement side of business is free actually to the community.
Right.
We don't charge them anything. We make revenue in a different way.
Yeah.
And then the care management piece, that's also free to the community, where we are their advocate and help them plan for the future, help them navigate. If somebody ends up in the hospital, we'll go to the hospital and work them through what's next and move through
all those steps.
System. Yep.
Now, I know that there are lots of startup entrepreneurs who really appreciate getting, the insights from somebody who has walked the path before them, as you have. I'm wondering, how was it for you personally having to, take a chance, take that risk, know that you're exposing yourself to potential failure? And how did you navigate that time?
The idea of taking a leap and starting your own business is somewhat scary to people. And honestly, I had an opportunity to do that earlier in my career, and the scariness of it held me back, and I really kind of regret that. Now, it was probably about 5 or 8 years apart from the time I first thought about it to the time I actually did it. Mm-hmm. And while I like the fact that I was more seasoned and had more experience, when I did finally step up and do it, I kind of regretted not following my heart and following my path, because I've always been fairly entrepreneurial in general. And, once I decided to take that leap, it was really hard, but it was really the support of my family and and my wife, honestly. My wife was hugely supportive of it. And
fantastic.
That really helped make that leap. And we were financially comfortable with where we were to where we could afford to take that leap. I was confident in my experience, in my abilities.
Yep.
That was huge, having that confidence. And once I got past the financial risk scaring me, it really wasn't that scary once I dove into it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing. I know a lot of people get a lot of value out of that. Now, in terms of bringing on people into your team, did you find it difficult? Because I know a lot of people do, to, I guess, trust in the people that you're now hiring to do the right thing in your business. And how did you navigate that?
Are you talking about the franchisees that buy?
Talking about your team directly, when you start to employ people.
Yeah, we kind of have this unwritten promise to where when we hire people, we really want people to have firsthand knowledge base and experience in that subject matter and whatever they're going to be doing. And so I find that in our industry, there are a lot of people out there that are training and supporting franchisees that have never done their work before. They came over from another industry and don't know nothing about home care. And we really want people who are going to be working with our franchisees and working with, and even our clients and in our local markets. We really try to find people who have that heart and have that passion for what we do, that has the experience and willing to do it, basically. That heart and passion is really key. If you don't have the heart and passion and get excitement out of being of value and making a difference in somebody's life,
and why you're doing it,
why you're doing it, and that's what we really look for.
Yeah, thank you again for sharing. I know that people do the right thing generally. They don't wake up of a morning saying, I'm going to go to work to do a bad job. Now, how do you empower and reward a good performance, for lack of better ways to put it?
Well, with our employees, we try to do that through employee appreciation programs where there's bonus structures where their bonus is if they're an owner of the business, and they're given the freedom and flexibility, particularly our administrators, to be entrepreneurs and add their little twist to things and treat it and run it as if it was their own business. So we really believe in empowering our being involved in our employees' lives and empowering them to fulfill their goals and dreams as well. And so that could be through being through the pay, and competitive pay and higher than average salaries that we pay. It's through the benefits we provide. But I really just like taking a look and having conversations with them of, what are you wanting to do in your personal life, and what are you looking to do, goals do you have in your professional career, and how can I help you achieve that? I think that's the same, it's the same approach that we have with the clients that we work with. How can we help you achieve your goal? And then we just put a plan together and say, okay, if that's what you want to do, here's the steps, let's outline the steps we need to make to take that. And then let's work together as a team to accomplish those steps.
It comes back to that helpful people helping people, doesn't it? Now, I'm looking at the list of services because I know that there will be people on this call who are interested in learning more about the service side of your business. So I've looked at your services tab. There's a lot going on there. I wonder if we can, I guess, work through some of these elements. You've started off with the home care services. I think we've touched on that. Could you, I guess, elaborate a little bit more on that maybe?
On the home care services?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Again, it's helping people with what they call activities of daily living or instrumental activities of daily living. So it's whatever they need to live and be safe in their home, because most people don't want to move. They want to stay home. They don't want to move into a community.
Yeah.
And so it's everything from, like I said, bathing assistance, dressing, laundry, house cleaning. We really strive to try to find ways to also improve, what we call client engagement, within these clients. So we want to improve, oftentimes as we age, things happen to us mentally. Isolation hits in with that, with depression and loneliness sets in, and people kind of turn off their brains, and they, so we try to keep them engaged so that they don't feel so isolated, they don't still feel so lonely. We want to get them some brain fitness activities, and find ways to give them more meaning and purpose, so they can enjoy their life.
That's great. I mean, because I've seen it myself. I've seen grandparents who go through exactly those things, and that's almost as if they stop setting goals for themselves. Do you remind them that it's important to do those sorts of things?
We remind them, and then we also encourage it. We find, an example might be if someone likes to do knitting. We may say, hey, let's knit some halves or scarves that we can donate to the local homeless shelter or something. And now they're having a sense of pride and a purpose to their work, and then they enjoy that better, because oftentimes they'll stop doing their hobbies or stop doing their stuff because they just don't, they're just not driven to do it. There may not be a reason to do it. So.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at this other tab that caught my eye is your veterans program. Share that with us.
There's a benefit out there for military veterans for low income military veterans that pays for our care or pays for like things like assisted living and stuff. It's kind of 50-50 if the veterans know about it. It's not kind of well known. And if you know about it, the problem with it is you can't apply for the benefit unless you need the help. The application is a little difficult, and then you have to wait for the VA, and it takes like 3 to 8 months for the VA to approve it. So that whole 3 to 8 months, you're sitting there saying, well, I need help, but I can't get my help, my care started until the VA approves it. So what we have done is we've created a program where we have experts that will help fill out that application and make that complicated process easy, and we'll do it for the clients. And then when they submit the application, we have access to funds, if you will, that fronts the cost of care. So we can get the care started for them at no out-of-pocket cost to the clients. So they don't have to worry about, how am I going to pay for this? And so it's a really received program within our communities, and it really makes us stand out. It's a huge differentiator that we have.
Yeah, you certainly have some wonderful things going on. You obviously have a leading industry program for care management and another in client engagement. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about those.
The client engagement program is, kind of what I mentioned, like, if somebody, a lot of times the elderlies or these seniors, they live at home alone, or maybe they just have them and their spouse, but it's hard for them to get out and be social. So we will try to either take them and drive them to be social, to like the senior centers for activities and get involved in groups, or if they don't want to leave their home, we can try to set up like Zoom meetings or even phone calls with other seniors so they can make friends and have conversations with people of their own age who are going through the same things, and they can have strength in numbers and support with each other. or we create brain fitness activities to keep their
Yep.
mind sharp. Doing puzzles and helping them with their gardening and whatever activities they do, so that it gets helps get rid of that depression, helps get rid of that loneliness, helps keep their brain sharp, and gives them a sense of purpose, so they're not just sitting around and just waiting for life to happen, if you will.
So with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, has the way that you operate Talem Home Care changed at all?
Yes and no. In our industry, we've always had to deal with infectious diseases and taking precautions for that, whether it's the flu or other things.
Whatever.
Now the amount of testing and some of the paperwork, that we have to do as an agency has increased, obviously a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's some, there's been some unique challenges as far as, more so on the recruiting and retention side that we've had, where finding staff is really difficult right now. It's getting easier now that the unemployment benefits have gone away, and people are getting vaccinated and getting back to work, and kids are back in school. It's getting a lot easier.
Yeah.
But it has forced us to change some things. For example, training of our caregivers, now we've created an online university to train caregivers, so we can continue their education, even if we can't necessarily get them in the office all the time.
I love that, because what it demonstrates to me is that you pivot when you need to. Innovation's clearly at the forefront of your mind. You're doing what you need to do to get the results. Now, I know that there is a lot we could talk about on here, and time just flies by with these calls. I'm wondering, when people want to learn more, because I'm sure that there are people listening to this call that do want to contact you, what is the process, and how does somebody connect with you to learn more?
Any way you want to. Through our social media, you can send us a message. You can go onto our website and fill out forms and send us a message. We have an 800 number, which is 833-TALEM-HC is our toll-free number. Yep. And you can just email me directly at jake@talemhc.com.
That's excellent. Now, I've again, for everybody who's on the call today, I've looked through the website. There's certainly a plethora of information there that will help you decide whether or not Jake and his wonderful team are the right solution for you. Now, if you are looking for them, you need to visit talemhomecare.com. I'll be making sure that link is available below this post. No matter where you see this call, you will certainly see the link back to Talem Home Care. And with all that being said, Jake, thank you so very much for joining me on the My Future Business Show today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed the call, then make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, share us with your friends, and book your spot on the show at myfuturebusiness.com/interviews. And if you're looking for solutions that will help grow your business, then visit myfuturebusiness.com/shop.